I don't know exact measures. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, that's brown sugar.
Alright, we're still recording. I have to pause it at this point in time.
Flour. 1 bar of butter.
Is it still recording?
Okay.
Alright, now basically this right here is apple crumb pie, essentially. Right now we're making the crumb, which is a very simple mixture of brown sugar, flour, and butter. Now you keep on doing it until it reaches a certain consistency where it'll clump together, but it'll still be dry enough that you can put your hands through it and it won't stick to your hands. Very simple and easy. And to consistency, really. You know, I'm probably going to have to add a little bit more flour from the feel of things. To maybe even a little bit more brown sugar, but other than that, you know, it's no real measurement as far as I know, because this is a recipe that was handed to me before, to my mother, from my mother, before she passed, and I just make it the same way she taught me.
Okay.
Alright, you get all the ingredients together, because like I said, it's going to be imperfect, but I obviously had to add a little bit more brown sugar and flour, but now that I have it to the consistency where I want it. This is where you need it to be, because this is the apple crumb pie, and you need it to be crumbly, like so. You know, once you reach this consistency, then the topping for your apple pie is done. Okay, you can smell it. Your pie pan, you know, pie dish, whatever the case may be. Stick of butter, Crisco, whatever. You know, you want to make sure you get the entire dish covered. You know, nice light covering. You don't need to have, you know, fully soaking in oil, so to speak. It's mainly for non-stick purposes. You know, not really going to affect anything as far as the flavor goes, but you'll definitely be thanking yourself later for it after the pie is done. Because otherwise, this does love to stick to the pan. You can see basically from the last time that we were videoing to now, I obviously went and lined the pan with a pie crust. Now, I don't have
And the apple.
Alright, now for this apple pie, as you can see, it's just going to take some sugar. We decided to take a shortcut because normally I just use cinnamon and sugar and that's about it. But I decided to try apple pie spice, McCormick, that I got at Walmart for, what, $5? Yeah, about $5 or so. And then, as you can see, apples that we went and sliced. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty, but it will get the job done. Now, you know, start off with a simple base coat of sugar. You know, don't be afraid of, you know, putting in the sugar, because believe me, if you don't put in enough, you're going to have a very tart pie. So you want to be very, very generous with the sugar. You know, I've learned that through trial and error. And then, you know, get a nice, good base coat of sugar. Put in the apple slices. You know, however you decide you want to peel the apples and slice them up, doesn't matter. You know, that's the beauty of cooking your own apple pie. You can do it any way you want. You follow these instructions at the very minimum, you will have something that is very tasty, very edible, and definitely will have people raving for more. Okay, you can pause it. Get a little bit more spices. Do not be afraid to put it down on there pretty good. And then some more sugar. Again, we're going pretty high with this, because if you don't, well, then you're going to basically end up with a bowl of apple pie, like literally an apple pie bowl. Because by the time it's all said and done, the pie is probably going to be sitting right about here, compared to where it's at right now. And then on top of that, we got to put all the apple crumb on top. And when it all bakes down, it's probably going to come down to right about here. And as you can see, the apple pie is nearly complete. Now we're just going to put on another coat of sugar, another coat of the apple pie spice, and then we're going to put on the apple crumbs. Like I said, you don't want to be too stingy on the sugar here. There's no real set measure because it's more to taste. You know, less sugar for more tart, and if you don't like the tart, more sugar and more sweet, obviously.
Some people want to start.
And then, you know, for those of you that are diabetic, I'm pretty sure that the you know, sugar substitutes will fit in just fine as well. I'm not diabetic, so I couldn't tell you.
Honey?
Honey? What about honey?
Is that substitute?
No, they make, now that we got that step done, now we take our lovely apple crumbs that we went and made beforehand, and then we just basically pack it on there. Nice and easy, and definitely going to be messy, but that's okay. Generally the messier stuff is the tastier stuff. We're packing it all in real good. Like I said, you want to get a nice little drip pan kind of deal that'll catch all the drippings. You want to make sure that you got at least a little bit of space, because it's not going to go spurting everywhere like a volcano, but it's just going to be more like a runoff kind of thing and collect right on around here and, you know, make a mess everywhere. If you don't have here, as she will show you, it's 350 degrees preheat. Slide it right on in like so. Picture perfect. Great. And then you close the oven.
After 45 minutes, still not done yet. So let's check again, maybe another 30 minutes. Guys, after 1 hour and 40 minutes, almost it's done. Okay, that's your apple pie. Then let's leave it to cool down. Here you go, your apple pie. Looks yummy.